Welcome, young explorers, to Curious Minds, the channel where learning is an adventure. I'm Professor Witty, and I'm here to take you on a journey through the fascinating worlds of social studies, science, history, and so much more. Are you ready to dive into the wonders of knowledge? Let's go! Welcome, young explorers, to today's exciting journey into the wondrous world of force and motion. Have you ever wondered why objects move? Or how they change direction? Well, wonder no more, because today we're going to uncover the fascinating secrets behind these concepts. Imagine you're standing on a playground about to kick a soccer ball. What happens when you give it a swift kick? That's right. It starts rolling across the grass. But why does it move? What makes it change direction? Or come to a stop? Today, we're going to explore two fundamental concepts, force and motion. But before we dive in, let's ask ourselves, what exactly are force and motion? And how do they differ from each other? Force is like the invisible hand that pushes or pulls objects, causing them to move or change their state of motion. It's what makes things happen in the physical world. From lifting a pencil to launching a rocket into space. Motion, on the other hand, is the actual movement or change in position of an object over time. It's the result of force in action. It is the observable outcome of those invisible pushes and pulls. Throughout this lesson, we'll uncover the mysteries behind force and motion, exploring their roles in our everyday lives and beyond. So buckle up and get ready to embark on an exhilarating journey through the forces that shape our world and the motions that bring it to life. Let's take a closer look at force. Force is essentially a push or a pull that acts upon an object, causing it to accelerate, decelerate, or change direction. It's a fundamental concept in physics that describes the interaction between objects. For instance, when you kick a ball, you're applying force. Similarly, when you push a shopping cart, you're exerting force on it to make it move. Force can be measured in units called newtons, named after Sir Isaac Newton, who formulated the laws of motion. In essence, force is what makes things happen in the physical world. Whether it's lifting objects, pushing a shopping cart, or even the gravitational pull between the Earth and the Moon. Forces are always at play, influencing the motion and behavior of objects. Now that we've explored the principles of force, let's delve into how these forces set objects into motion, uncovering the fascinating dynamics of movement. Motion refers to the change in position of an object over time relative to a reference point. It can be described in terms of speed, direction, and acceleration. When an object moves, it changes its location in space. This movement can be linear, like a truck driving down a straight road. Or it can be rotational, like a spinning top. Motion can also be a combination of both, like the Earth rotating while also orbiting around the Sun. Motion is fundamental to our understanding of the physical world. It's what allows us to travel from one place to another, observe the changing seasons, and understand the behavior of celestial bodies in the universe. Whether it's the flutter of a butterfly's wings or the orbit of a satellite, motion is all around us, shaping our everyday experiences. Let's head back to the classroom and take a final look at some examples of force and motion to deepen your understanding of the principles behind the two. Force versus motion. The key difference is that force is the action, push or pull, that causes an object to move or change its state of motion, while motion is the actual change in position of the object as a result of the force applied to it. In simpler terms, force is what gets things going or changes their direction, while motion is the actual movement that occurs because of the force. So, force is the push behind motion. Let's take a look at these illustrations. Here we have two objects, a foot and a ball. If the foot kicks the ball, can you tell which object represents force and which represents motion? When you kick a ball, your foot applies force to it. The force you exert is what causes the ball to move. So if you guessed that the foot represented the force and the ball represents the motion, you got it right. Let's try another one. Here we have two more objects, a woman and a shopping cart. If the woman pushes the cart and the cart begins to move, which object is the force and which is the motion? In this scenario, the woman pushing the cart represents force as she is applying the effort to move the cart. The motion is represented by the shopping cart itself, as it is the object being propelled forward by the force applied by the woman. Let's take a look at our last example. Here we have our objects, a store clerk and a large box. If the store clerk uses his strength to push the big box across the floor, which object represents force and which one represents motion? In this case, the man represents the force as he is applying effort to push the box. The motion is represented by the box itself, as it is the object being moved as a result of the force exerted by the man. Well, curious minds, That wraps up today's exploration of force and motion. We've covered the basics of these fundamental concepts, from understanding what force is to exploring how it shapes motion in our world. Remember, whether it's a gentle pushing of a shopping cart or a powerful kick that launches a ball across a field, force and motion are everywhere, influencing everything around us. If you found this video helpful and would like to delve deeper into the concepts of force and motion, be sure to check out our other video on the topic titled Unveiling the Forces of Motion, Exploring the Power Behind Movement, where we discuss the different types of force from gravity to friction and how they shape movement. Thanks for tuning in to Curious Minds. On this journey through the world of science, we've explored the fascinating concept of force and motion. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep exploring with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more mind-bending adventures. Until next time, keep those curious minds in motion.